Okay, welcome back to another Snowmobile Sessions. Apologize for the 5 p.m. late start there, folks. we had a few technical difficulties in the process, but we're here. Hopefully, we got some people coming in on board. We got a few comments already up on the screen here, but I want to show you guys something because I had a person asked me what time we were going on when it was after 5, and I said, oh, it should be, that's when I was thinking it was 5:30, and then he sent me a picture here, and I'll just share it with you guys. He sent me a picture of him waiting for the stream to start. And where did it go? What was that? Sounds like someone was on a Sea-Doo.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my window's open. It was a bike going by.
Oh, nice.
You picked that up. Was that too loud? I can close the window there.
No. So, yeah, right here. So do you see this? He says this is from Mike. He remember the snowmobile that went up in flames last year?
Mm-hmm. Oh, was it on that lake? On that spot?
Oh no, it was this guy, Mike.
Oh, okay.
A childhood buddy of mine, and yeah, so he says he's sitting out here waiting for the show to start. He's leaving his Wi-Fi in the cabin. So nice. Hopefully you're still here. You didn't topple over out there, but
we'll be getting heavy frost up there tonight, boys. See all all that temperature's dropping. I was saying that to Bobby there before we started, man. The temperature's starting to get some nice fall weather, which is great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Too long. Starting to see people getting sleds, hearing people picking up new snowmobiles. So that's all good.
Yeah, for sure. So
anybody do you guys know that have gotten any sleds delivered yet?
Nobody I know personally, but I've seen quite a few people on Do Talk finally starting to get some skidoos rolling in. And like you said, I've seen a couple mountain sled guys get their sleds, but nothing trail wise from Polaris yet.
Yeah. The Chaos has been shipped out and delivered.
There's a couple on the floor. As always, I just want to recap some stuff we talked about last show. If you're tuning in here, just know that this is episode 4. You'll see on screen. There was actually an episode 3. It just was on Revrider's channel here. Right. So go to his channel and you can pick up episode 3. And for those that weren't watching live on Sunday morning, you missed a doozy because somebody couldn't keep their mouth shut about something that was purchased.
Yeah. Oh well, I got hauled in. You could tell I just rolled out of bed. I thought you guys were just chatting, but anyways, we've already been over that. So
yeah, for sure. No, you owe him. You owe him a beer.
We'll get him up here for a ride. We'll go for a couple of beers for Bobby.
For sure.
Or several. So let me just I want to just share a screen and we'll recap, and then we got some fan mail that came in. So nice. We'll do that. Okay. And then we'll get into the trailer chat. So I think this is kind of cool. So here I'll just share a tab here. I want to put these all in.
Bobby, you got the Mavic Air 2 Pro, right? Or was it Mavic Air 2, right? Or is that what you have?
I actually have a Spark, right?
Oh, yeah, the Spark. That's nice and compact, though, eh? That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why. And for my first drone, I wanted something that if I crashed into a tree, I won't.
They're great, man.
Want to jump off a cliff as a result. So
yeah. No
that's why I'm a little. Next year, hopefully, I'll be able to go up to something or go get something like that as well too, because I got the Mavic Air Pro, and it's good, but it's too, the gimbal and it's too dainty. Like it's too fragile. Like you put it in the back of your sled, man. I'm going to have to put it in a backpack. That's the only way I can see me, because I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, how am I going to haul this thing around without it getting broken? Right.
Yeah.
So
that's always kind of a funny thing. I'll get like, why do you have a backpack just for all the camera gear that I carry? I have at all times 2 GoPros. I have a spare mic. I have my drone. I have the crab legs for my handheld camera, so much stuff. And I'm not going to leave that in my sled or risk it breaking on the sled.
And that's the thing. And people don't realize what you go through, right? When you're vlogging and doing all that, there's a lot of gear. I was thinking that too, because last year I had my 2, my Hero 5 and my Hero 5 Session. Mm-hmm. And I had it all set up and ready to go to start videoing and I guess we lost Gary there, and nothing happened.
Everybody.
I didn't end up doing it. So,
excuse me, Richard. We lost everything.
oh.
It looks like it's still broadcasting live, but we we actually went into no man's land there. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
you started breaking.
Actually, we were still going, Gary. We lost you because I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay, good, perfect.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
It's still rolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, but that's the thing, Bobby. No one realizes how much stuff you've got to haul around. So I have to come up with something that I got, like a backpack, I guess, what is it mean? Because I got the link, that 20-liter link bag that I was thinking of, putting the drone and all that. But Gary was saying that, he goes, that stuff bounces around back there. So what I'm thinking of doing is just getting a backpack and throwing the drone in the back of it. My spare GoPro battery I'll have in my tech vest, staying warm. So, but anyways, yeah, I know people don't realize that, but I just wanted to know, ask you what kind of drone you had, because it was taking some good shots in that. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm definitely still.
This year.
I'm still getting used to kind of the whole like figuring out the panning of the shots and stuff. But the gimbal on it is pretty sturdy. Like it's nothing that looks like if you hit it wrong, it'll break or anything like that.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. It's if it's on your back, it's going to have less movement. I just found, Richard, when I put stuff in the zip bag on the back of the tunnel of the Renegade, I broke the mounts off the GoPro. I cracked the case the one time. It's not a good scene. I wouldn't be putting something as expensive as a drone in the back.
No.
It's messy. Yeah, well, have you ever hauled water in the back of it? It usually ends up being an empty bottle. Yeah.
When we were in Quebec last year, we went over like not even a kilometer to go get beer at the end of our ride. So we gassed up. You know, you gas up the end of your evening ride. For the next morning, right? So we hit the gas station, grabbed some beers, because in Quebec you can get beers at the gas station. So we did that literally just a kilometer in my buddy's bag. He has that Skidoo. What's the big heavy duty one? The Venture? No, it's not. That's the Yamaha. What's the
Grand
utility? No, it's not the Grand Touring. It was a utility touring sled.
Expedition, I think.
Expedition. Yeah, the Expedition. It has that big bag. Beautiful sled, man. Like, you want to talk about a great sled for touring? That thing's amazing. But anyways, we literally didn't even do a kilometer. So half a mile, Bobby. We get back and 6 of the beers blew up in his thing because we were banging around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, don't put anything of value back there. That's for sure. Beer or drones. Yeah. So, but anyway, I see a lot of people in the chat. So this is great. It looks like we're pulling in some of the Brap gang, and we got some back in there too. So, but so it looks like there's something going on, because there's still some people chatting. But anyway, I'll go back. I want to recap some of these photos here. Remember, Revrider, I was telling you about that 50th anniversary sled. This is the beast right here.
Nice.
Yeah, and then that's the 69 I had. So I think that's this one in the back. Here's the one that we ended up keeping, and then this is the one that's no longer alive.
Yeah.
This thing here, this shot here is a video on my channel. This is a family day shot, and we actually lined up all the sleds from. Can I actually move that around? It doesn't look like I can. We actually lined up all the sleds from 1970 to 2016 at that time. We had them all together, and this is just at a buddy's house. That was great.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then another group ride here of ours. This is up. It's kind of a bittersweet photo, because this shot was in the Grand River Conservation Area trails. Or near it, so they're all closed down this year. They haven't came to an agreement yet. So,
was that article I sent you, Gary? That's what we were talking about just recently.
Yeah. And then here's the side panel. You can see, Richard, the raised lettering on there. That's the busted out side panel. So So and then moving right along into some fan photos here. We got Corey Brock. This is one that was sent in for the fan video that I did. But he's a great supporter of the channel and myself, really. I did all the graphics on here. You can see there's a custom side panel decal here, and his helmet decals, and the tunnel graphic here I redid for him as well, with the digital camo look to it. So, and he keeps stuff really clean. There he is right there. This is Corey, good guy. Hopefully he's watching now.
That's a good job on those decals. Those looked awesome.
Yeah, and what we wanted to keep them kind of factory looking, but then still have that pump there. So, and this is Andrew, the guy that had that big party with all the sleds at it. This is his son, and I printed that shirt for him too. But they moved out to Colorado, I believe it is, to the Rockies. So he's living in dream world right there.
Nice.
This is
where I'd love to live.
Yeah, these would be classified as fan photos more than anything else. So if you guys are watching and you have some photos you want us to share, then by all means, make sure you send them to fanphoto@mudbrats.com. I don't care if you're on Revrider550's channel or mine, send them to me and we'll make sure we review them on a future podcast. So, and here he is again. Well, yeah, you can see that. I can't see the full screen. So then a couple of fan photos that came in. This one here is, hi, I'm Bobby Bell, 16 from Northwestern Ontario, and here's my 2020 Summit 600R 146 with a 2.5 track on it. It's a pretty sweet sled. You want to see what a real sled looks like, Richard? This is a real sled, Richard. I don't know whether Bobby agrees or not. We'll have to see.
You know me, I'm never brand biased. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, this is where he gets into his, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not brand biased. I just think Skidoo's better. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What do I know? And then this is David Cook. He was on episode 2. He's from Uclear. This is the guy we were talking to.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. So David Cook and his son Bobby, or Calvin, sorry, we talked a lot about Calvin and using the Uclear, and he said that we're Mudbrats super fans from Idaho, USA. So
Nice.
yeah, so thanks for sending that in, David. That's awesome. Thanks for being on the show. Yeah. So, and what else? That's it for the fan photos this week.
Nice.
So hope if you got any fan photos, send them to that email right on the screen there, fanphoto@mudbrats.com, and we'll feature them on a future episode.
Perfect.
Sure.
So yeah. So we're gonna get right into it. But hey, listen, maybe I should do my draw for the T-shirt. Again, last podcast episode, I said leave a comment, T-shirt me Gary, in the comment below, and I was gonna do a random draw for the names. But guess what? I didn't do a random draw. I'm gonna give everyone that said T-shirt me Gary a shirt. So here's the list here. We have Mr. 85 GT, Uclear Digital, he's getting one. Sometime is now, and Jesse Buckman, he's going to get one too. So just send me your mailing address to the email that's shown on the screen here, fanphoto@mudbrats.com, and just say T-shirt me, and I will make sure I'll get that, and your screen name, so I can associate it properly, and then I'll make sure the shirts get out in a promptly manner to you. How's that? I don't just pick one, pick them all.
Very good.
I kind of told Richard I was doing that, and then when I was going to do the names, I was going, oh, I hope there's not like 60 or 70 people on the list.
For sure.
But we're good. We're still small.
Good.
We're still growing.
Awesome.
So
That's good.
Congratulations, guys. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, everybody's in there. Good.
Yeah,
so we'll move along.
You want to go through some screen chats first to make sure that there's nothing in there that we're missing?
Yeah.
6 beers at alcohol. Awesome. I think everyone's thanking you for T-shirts, which is great.
Oh, that's cool. I'm still down here. The other 2 are from Canada. I don't know what that means. Oh, that must be from that's from Rev's channel.
One of my subscribers asked if you guys are from New York also.
Yeah. Saying who are those guys with the weird accents? Oh, they're from Canada. Yeah. 6 beers, that's alcohol abuse. Yeah, that's all he could fit in the case. He would have taken more. Yeah.
Oh man.
So see there, maybe it was the Canadian feed died because fellas, you still rocking. So yeah,
that could be.
We're still getting through here. Oh, Connecticut, shout out. Welcome to the show, 410 Notch. It's great. And look at this. These must be the winners. Yeah. Sometime is now. I'm Mr. 85 GT. Glad they're watching. Time with Cal. Youper jumping in here. Love the podcast videos. Who else is ready for snow? I'm ready for snow.
Yeah. We were just saying that. Temperatures are dropping, so won't be long now.
Yeah.
Well, you see Colorado and BC, they got snow already.
Yep.
You see Levi LaValle with him outside. He opened up his house. There was snow everywhere. He's like, I'm going for a rip. That's awesome.
I can't wait for those dates. I was snowmobiling on November 11th. So it's getting close. It's getting real close. So, yeah. And Paul, he was on the last feed. I think he came on Sunday to chat with us all. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So thanks for chiming in, guys. Chat, and I'll put them up on screen as we hear them coming in. So, yeah, so we're gonna have a little chit chat about trailering and things like that. I've got some pictures here. I don't think you sent me anything from yours, Bobby. Did you? Did you text me?
I did not. My trailer's not worth really showing off, to be totally honest.
Yeah, that's right.
It just barely gets the job done, I guess I would say.
That's done you well, though, Bobby. It was a good trailer, though. It was a full bed enclosed. Like, that's good.
My dad actually has used it. He used it for work for a long time, so it's probably got 100,000 plus miles on it. So the fact that it still rolls is an accomplishment.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Kidding, right? Yeah. Here, I'm going to just go back to a screen share here, see if I can share this here. I got some pictures here to show.
You want me to send you a couple right now, Gary, or is it too hard to?
Yeah, sure.
No, I think I can figure it out if you sent me a couple now. But I'm trying to get this, trying to figure out this. That last thing I had open was kind of awkward. How it opened.
I think mine and your trailer are very similar, Gary. I got mine's an Avalanche that I got from. What was the name of the trailer company? Can't even remember now. They were out in Brampton, right near the airport. Great place.
Yeah. Well, I've got some blasts from the past too to show. I kind of pulled all my trailers from way back when. So this is an open trailer I had, but I don't know what's so special about this picture. I'm not sure.
I had a single bed. I had a single trailer like that, and then a double bed too, like that.
Yeah.
And man, when you showed up, I mean, you got what you can use, right? But man, you showed up. You went for a nice trip. You had to go find a power washer because it was just covered in salt.
Oh my god!
Oh, I know. And
even how much you had of those covers,
and
if you had the canvas type cover, if you didn't tie it down enough, it was sitting there buffering. Just sandpaper your shine off your thing, but that's what you had. That was the only option I had at that time. So
yeah. Well, actually, it wears off. They say if you want to turn a new sled into an old sled fast, haul it on an open trailer. And so true. And the thing is, we wore the paint off the A arms, and it probably worked on older sleds that had a solid tunnel, but in the new ones that are all vented for snow, the salt just goes up, and they're all covered under snow anyway. So you might as well haul it open.
Yeah,
so
it gets into your bearings, everything, man.
Yeah. I just want to say a disclaimer for the next photo because we're all Ram guys. We all drive Dodge Rams, so don't hold this against me. But this is my Honda Ridgeline, and you can see I was making a dump run there. Actually, you know that I'm just kidding you, Polaris guys. It's a Polaris. I traded that trailer that was in the last photo for that sled that's in the back.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And it was great. And then I sold that sled for $1,500, so I was never going to get that for it. But and then this is I ended up getting I had two enclosed, so I had that enclosed, and then I bought the other one that I'm in now. So, and that truck hauled that one fine, but the new one it won't. It was like really struggling with. So this is my buddy Dino's. It's a 7-foot by 23-foot, and he's got the Eco Diesel Laramie, which is kind of the Dodge vegan of Dodge Rams. But you know, the 7x23 is a good size. He can fit 4 sleds in it. I've got a photo here. Oh, it's not on my list. I've got a photo of 4 sleds in the back of that thing. If you're staggering them, you know, you have to do front to back kind of thing. And it works really well. So, and then the Ridgeline, this is a shot of me hauling the Renegade in the back of the Ridgeline. You can see it fits perfect.
I was going to say, holy,
wow. That's kind of deceiving.
You needed a red flag on the end of that, buddy.
Oh, geez. You need a different state license plate. This is actually how I hauled it. That first picture's a joke.
That's a good idea, though. That's smart.
Yeah, that was when I was taking it in. I think I was taking it down to get pre-season service and the clutch kit and stuff put in it and stuff. So, but what else have I got here? And then this is the new rig. So it's good. And that is the same trailer you've got. Mine's a PJ trailer, and it's all aluminum, and mine doesn't have the door in it. But do you ever hit your head when you're going into yours?
No, man, not at all. Actually, you know what? That thing's amazing for gassing up. Like it really is awesome there. You just open the door and you can gas up both sleds, going through. So the only thing I'm going to update it on this year is the the super clamp. We were talking about that, Gary, because the thing that comes with it, you sit there like literally it takes months to just crank it down. It's a spindle. It's just
for sure.
So I'm investing in a couple of super clamps for this year.
So. It's this. You pull the key out and you go.
Yeah,
and it's done.
Exactly. So
it's one-handed and putting them into like.
That was the day I was picking up my my assault there, Bobby. That was that was
nice.
Of course there. I was picking up my. And you know what? For some reason, I didn't end up getting it. I was getting back in a snowmobile. Do you think I would have videotaped or took photos? I took a picture while I was waiting for them to bring it out. That's in front of my house after I unloaded it. So it's like,
that's great.
You get excited though. I did the same thing. I had every intention of filming my 2017 assault when I picked it up, and I was so excited when I was there. I didn't even touch the camera.
I like these bars you have in the trailer, Those are that's now I'm talking Canadian for all the American viewers, but I really like these.
All that came with the trailer gear. I didn't add anything in. That was all. The only thing I went in is put extra screws around them, like a couple of them only had 2, and I put 4 in. I just went around put extra. All what you see there is how the trailer came. So it's a good trailer, man. I'm happy with it so far. So
that's good. The door. I think you nailed it with the. You nailed the door because it would be handy for putting gas in and out because we have to back ours out really because the hoses won't fit through it won't go around, right? So we've actually had to back them out. Well, if we were on our way up north and have to fill them. And I see you've done garbage runs with yours as well.
So that was my neighbor.
I'm only kidding.
That was our first ride. I think that was at the end of November. We went up to Port Perry because we had a bunch of snow, and we just that was my first ride. That's the only video I have on my channel is me riding that day.
Can't believe you guys ride in November. I'm dreaming at that point.
That's very, very rare, and it's not good riding. Well, you can see it's the first ride of the season last year. Actually, it wasn't horrible. We were getting a lot of snow on the 11th, and then the 12th is when I did that video, and then a buddy of mine had just got his very first snowmobile. It was an XRS 850.
I remember that video.
And he was stoked, and he's going, I want to go. And I go, really? Like the weather's warming up. If you're going to ride, now's the time. But I'm warning you, it's not going to be pretty, right? Because I'd already been out there tearing it up, and he came out and he's digging trenches and dirt and everything. So it's it wasn't that.
That's the thing when you do the early ride. When you get that dump of a foot and a half of snow, and you're like, "Oh, I can ride," you are risking so much, man. Hitting rocks and stumps, but you know what? It's one of those things. You're just like, I gotta go.
For sure.
And then it's a gamble for sure. But anyways, we'll see what happens. I don't know how early I'll be getting my sled this year, but they're saying by December 1st it'll ship. So who knows?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, you hope it will. Oh yeah. So Bobby just sent me his trailer here. See if I can find it on the tab.
Yeah, that's a nice trailer, Bobby. Like I said, you go ride with you and your dad, and Josh is your buddy. I think it is the photographer. He does amazing shots, Bobby.
Oh, yeah, he's really good.
That looked professional, buddy. The stuff that you put on Instagram that I was following, and some of the shots you said, that looked like it was right out of a snowmobile magazine.
Yeah, it's honestly such a good relationship because he loves to take pictures. And then he doesn't often get to do like action shots. It's typically landscape stuff. So we'll go out together and he can try different things with lighting. And obviously, so there's the trailer.
Yeah.
I think it's a 24-foot and it's a rolling something. It's a 2004. Like I was saying earlier, my dad used it for work. So it's probably got over 100,000 miles on it. We've replaced all the brakes, all the bearings, the entire rear axle, the tongue 3 times, but it still gets the job done.
I got the job done, right? Like you said. So
fits 4 sleds. So
are you going to go same size, Bobby? Probably, or
So lucky enough for me, Dad's the one pulling the trigger on the trailer. So he really wants to do. He doesn't want staggered, which he kind of made a valid point. If you go staggered, because Josh comes pretty often, but not all the time. And if we did staggered, we'd have to move his sled to get both of ours off.
Yeah.
So for that reason, we're going to try to do like the over wheel so we can just drive them off when we want to, and then still want to do a 4-place.
Nice. Well, you got to video that when you get it, obviously. And we'll
absolutely
make a show on that too as well. That's awesome, man. There's nothing better than getting something new for snowmobiling, whether it's your trailer or truck or whatever, man. So
Yep.
That's
Now, question.
That's a full 8 foot wide, is it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the nice inside because the wheels underneath. That's nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just gigantically tall because he wanted it tall enough for work that he never had to bend down to go in and out of it. So when you're towing it, it's like towing a house.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I guess you're not getting good gas mileage hauling that bad boy around.
Not a chance. And when it's windy, you feel it.
Yeah. Good. That's
Yeah,
good.
So.
No, that's good.
No,
So
that's cool.
So we all own Rams. Obviously,
Yep.
We're also talking about what we haul our trucks with. How do you guys find each model? Actually, explain which models you guys each have. I mean, I know they're all the same, but they're all 1500s, right? So
yeah, you go ahead, Bobby. You go first there.
So I have a 2019 Bighorn. It's got the black appearance package. It's got the trailer tow group. It's got the off-road group, which honestly I thought was really cool. At the time, I couldn't really make a Rebel work financially, so I wanted something that kind of had like a little extra flair in the Bighorn. And it comes with like a 1-inch lift. It's got a more aggressive tire. It's got the e-locker like the Rebel does and all that stuff. So it was a little taste of Rebel without having to go, all the way up because at the time I just couldn't do it. But I love it. When I first got it, there were like no 2019 Rams. So I was like one of the only people on the road driving one, which was really cool. But tows the trailer great. It's got the flip out mirrors like yours does, and all that. So
nice. That's a nice truck. I like it. I like the blackout color too. I like that. That's nice.
Thanks. Yeah.
Really nice. And what about you, Gary?
Mine's an outdoorsman edition. So it's a Dodge Ram 1500 EcoDiesel. I got the EcoDiesel package on it.
I wish I got that, man.
And the thing, like going from, I love this comment right here too. After seeing the Ridgeline pics, I think my idea haul my sled on my Corolla is actually possible. I love that.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
I love that. But yeah, so the like going from a Honda where you only have a few models, going to Dodge was really, I found it hard to buy a truck, right? Because we actually had our heart set on one, and then my wife goes, well, what's this outdoorsman? And the one didn't have the towing package, so the mirrors didn't flip out, and no trailer brake or whatever. And it's like, oh, forget that. I'm going for the outdoorsman with that on it. So to find that spec was tough, especially the time of year I bought it. So the dealer I bought it from had to get it in from another dealer. But it's an EcoDiesel, and my friend Dino had one, and I know it's kind of like rolling the dice. You don't know whether it's you've got one of the good ones or the bad ones, but I think for the most part there's more good than bad with them. And I've got 60,000 K on it. When I'm driving, like normal driving is around 10 liters per 100 kilometers or less. When I went to so just to give people an idea, my wife's CRV when we go to Ottawa was around, I think it was around 8.2. Well, we took the Ridgeline and we got 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers, half-ton full size pickup. So I mean, and right now diesel's less money than regular fuel now too. So I like it. It was I missed the tailgate on the Ridgeline, and I missed the trunk under the bed. And if it had that dual action tailgate, that's the most thing I miss. So you don't have to crawl in the back of the truck. But the trunk's a big plus too. But they've changed it to the
2020 Rams, and I'll have that on the back too. The one thing I wish I got on mine were the Ram boxes. Do you have Ram boxes on yours, Bobby?
I do not. No.
Yeah.
I was worried if I got those, I wouldn't be able to fit a sled in the back. I think I probably still could, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. That does take a bit of the bedroom away. You're right. The Ram boxes are slightly impeding in the bed there. So nice.
you lose quite a bit. Yeah. So, but and then yours is a Hemi, is it? Your truck, Richard.
Yeah, I've got a Rebel 1500 2019. I actually was not planning on getting a Ram at all, actually. So I had an F-150, a 2015, which was the new model that came out with Ford back then in 2015. I had that for 4 years, and I was just going to flip it and get into a new one. And I was looking, and believe it or not, it was pretty base. I didn't have a sunroof, leather, nothing. Like, it was a pretty base truck, but it was a great truck. I loved that. My F-150 was an amazing truck. I loved it. And I came out of an avalanche getting into the F-150, which was another horror story. But anyways, the F-150 was amazing. So I was just going to get back into another Ford. And my brother-in-law said he had a Ram. He's like, go take a look at the Ram. They got Ram days going on right now. And I thought, too expensive. So we went down there 8 o'clock at night. We'll go into the dealership and going around. I went in to see the one of the general managers who were working there, and he's like, go pick up the thing. So I go and I look at this Rebel. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to afford this. This is stupid. Like, it's too much money. I go in and I said to the guy, I said, listen, I like the Rebel. It's nice, but I said, I'm not paying that. So he's like, don't worry about it. Just go take it for a drive. So I took it for a drive, and it had the Uconnect 12, the big screen on it. And I was like, oh man, I had to have it. Like, it was like, you know what? So I came back. Well, Ram days, they knocked $22,000 off the truck. Plus, my buddy worked at the Brampton dealer. I got another $3,800. I was paying less for this Rebel done. Like, there's no options off of it. Like, it's fully jammed. Yeah. And I was paying $12 less a month than my F-150. That was kind of a mid-range truck. So it was a no-brainer. It was a complete no-brainer. So I got into it, and I haven't looked back. Like, it's amazing. It's got the tow package, the tow group. Now, the one thing I do regret that it didn't have, and I thought it did when they ordered it, they found it in Perth, the exact model I wanted, because I went through all the options. Because the one I test drove was actually sold, and I wanted the exact same one. So anyway, so it came with the trailer tow group, the brake control, the mirrors, and everything. But the only thing is that I do miss about my F-150. My F-150 had the 138-liter tank. Like that thing, I could go 1,000 kilometers on that thing. This thing has an 85-liter tank. Like, who puts an 85-liter tank in a truck with a V8? Yeah. Like, seriously. Yeah. So it took a little getting adjusting to. I honestly thought I was getting horrible gas mileage. Well, I wasn't. I was actually getting pretty good gas mileage. It's because the tank was so small. So now that I got over it and I've had it for exactly a year, I had it a year in May. I love it. I can't say anything bad about it. It's actually been probably my favorite truck, and I've owned, GMs, Chevys. I've had Tahoe, Suburban, an F-150. The F-150 was a nice truck. I like it too, but this Rebel was I love it. It's a great truck, man. I'm glad I ended up getting it. So and it tows pretty good too. So yeah, but you get a little heavy on the foot with the Hemi in it. It's a little bit of a gas guzzler, but you don't buy a truck and hauling sleds around and expect to get Corolla gas mileage, right? So
yeah, exactly.
That hybrid version of our trucks, and I guess it doesn't really help. Like, that's what I keep hearing. It's more for the start stop, because the Hemis have so much draw. It's more just to be able to use that function on them, that they're hybrids rather than actually get good gas mileage.
Oh, that torque link. The torque link. Yeah. I heard the same thing. They said, don't waste your money on them. So the one thing I didn't have the option, Gary, was so Ram came out for 2020 with the new diesel, the FCA diesel motor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Really, and obviously, if I was buying now 2020, it'll be a diesel. I would have got a diesel, but I didn't have that option. So, but you have the diesel. It's a smart move, man. It's especially for towing. It's a no-brainer.
The new Eco Diesel is supposed to be way better than the one I've got, and the one I've got, I'm happy with. Knock on wood, I've had no issues with it. But I drove like I almost bought an F-150, and with the FXR package and everything on it. And I actually was on a job, and we rented 3 trucks. We rented the Ford, the Dodge, and the Chevy, and we drove them for a week. Like, I drove them for work for a week and put them through their paces and had to work in them and out of them. And I tell you that like the Ford was a good overall vehicle. I didn't like when I went to the gas station with it, right? And the Dodge was the best drivable truck as far as driving and turning in and out of tight spots and everything. And again, I'm coming from a toy truck, right? Yeah, and then the GM was just nice creature comfort wise, but that was before the Dodge had that the screen, right? Yeah. I've got the smaller version of your screen, Richard, and it's probably the same one Bobby has as well. But yeah, that screen you've got, that would just if you got anyone in that vehicle, it would sell it. It would sell it.
And the Uconnect system on that, the apps, like I literally pull up live weather, and it's a whole live radar shot on that screen is unreal. Same with the maps and that. That literally, I know it sounds silly, and that option sold me huge on the interior.
Yeah.
Like the interiors on the Rams, they've improved immensely. Tell us, friends, what liter in kilometers are.
Yeah, so
that's my buddy Steve.
Yeah, so there's 4.5 liters in a gallon.
Yeah.
And then in kilometers, there's 1.6 kilometers in a mile. So
I actually Googled what 5 liters is. It ends up being about like 23 gallons for us. So
yeah. I have my truck set up as funny. Like I have my my tripometer set for kilometers, but my miles to the gallon, like I'm getting on average 19 to 21 miles to the gallon, which is pretty damn good. Now that's not hauling, but seriously, my motor's broken. Well, I've got about 30,000 kilometers on it now. So what's that, about 18, 19,000 miles? And honestly, literally when I put it on cruise control and I'm not hauling and all that, I literally average 19 to 21 miles to the gallon. Like it's great. Now when I'm towing, it goes out the window. It's down to like 14.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is, right? But for cruising around, like not hauling, I get, like I said, 19 to 21 miles to the gallon. So that's pretty damn good if you ask me. So
you wouldn't believe the difference a Vinos would make on your truck, because so Dino and I have the exact same truck, and I haul my my trailer. It's 8 feet wide with the fairly flat front on it, and I'm probably getting like 16, 17 liters per 100K on the highway, and I'm doing 120, 130 kilometers an hour the whole way. And he has the 7 foot wide by 23 foot with 4 sleds in it, and he's getting like 13, 14 liters per 100 kilometers. So he's blowing me away, right? He's getting Hemi, not hauling mileage, towing his 7 foot by 23 foot trailer.
Something. Yeah,
it's pretty incredible. But my trailer, the Ridgeline wouldn't even, you know how it calculates your miles to empty?
Yeah.
It never even did it. Like we ran out of gas. It would say 300 kilometers, and you'd be like 80 kilometers in, and it would be like, we need more gas. Yeah. Wow, and it was like, you felt like you were doing more harm.
Gary, because I honestly didn't. That's one I never even looked at a Honda. But what engine's in that? Is it a 6?
3 liter, 6 cylinder, V6, Earth Dream. So it cuts down to 3. Yeah, it cuts down to 3 cylinders on the highway, so your mileage was decent. It's not eco diesel mileage by any means. Like I save so much money going to the eco diesel from that Ridgeline. I don't think you can go wrong with any truck. To be honest with you now, like I mean, they're pushing each other. Like Ram has pushed GM huge. Like GM already had their makeover model. And they literally went back to the drawing board on the interior. Like the GM on the outside is a beautiful looking truck, but the interior needed updated. Like and that's what they're doing right now. Apparently they went back to the drawing board before it was to be redone. So, and the new F-150s coming out, they look nice. They you know what? They're all, you're splitting hairs again. Same thing with snowmobiles, right? With whatever you got, but they push each other, and it makes it better for the people who are buying vehicles, right? Yeah, for sure. No, it's funny. There's distinct differences between the 3 brands. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So Rec Stuff tows a 23 foot with 2 sleds and a 3.5 EcoBoost in F-150, and he gets 12 to 15 miles to the gallon. It's no Ridgeline, but he likes it. The Ridgeline would be getting more like 8 miles to the gallon. 410 Notch wants to do a subscriber meet in Vermont or Maine this year. Yeah, open those borders up. We'll be right there.
The borders are open. And you know what? We had I'm getting off topic. Well, we're not, but it's important. Because Gary and I were talking about that, and same with my friends. Like we got our fingers crossed. Like, please. I mean, it's starting to spike up here again since the schools started opening up. And so it's like, come on, please don't mess this winter up. Like I'm worried, and hopefully it doesn't happen, that we don't go into another 6-month lockdown.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't
happen, man. You know what? I'll be riding it up in my neighbor's farm field up here.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where I'll be. Jeremy's the guy that was in that one video. I called it Jeremy Rides, RIDES.
Oh, okay.
And he said, wait and see the new F-150 looks like, gents. I sell Fords. He has a customer with an F-150 with towing 20 miles per the gallon. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, that's really good. That's the thing. The EcoBoost is a great engine. I was looking at the EcoBoost, the small EcoBoost, the 2.8 is it that they have that's turboed,
Oh,
and it's supposed to be quicker than the 3.2 or whatever the other size is.
The 3 liter I had, my 2015 was that thing was unreal. That was stupid fast. Like I light to light, you'd smoke anything.
Yeah.
And I hauled a 27 foot, so 31 foot RV trailer with it, and it was no problem. And everyone was telling me, "You're going to burn out the turbos. You're going to burn out the turbos." I had 120,000 kilometers on that when I traded it in, and it was fine. Now that was only 4 years, maybe in 5 years, maybe, because I know replacing turbos are, they're not cheap when you're hauling. But I never had a problem with my F-150 with the EcoBoost, the 3.5. It was
Now, a question for both of you guys: are your Rams like all-wheel drive, or are they like mine's just two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive? Like it doesn't have the all-wheel drive option.
I think mine has some sort of mode like that, like a part-time all-wheel drive, but it does have like true 4 high, 4 low, all that stuff. So I've never really understood how the part-time four-wheel drive works.
Well,
I think it's computer.
There's no real true 4-wheel drive. They're all 3-wheel drive, right? And it just moves to the wheel. Like you have to literally lock your differential, your front and your back. That gives you true 4-wheel drive, right? So it's, most of them are technically a 3-wheel drive system. And then when it starts spinning, it moves the power to that one that's on the ground. So
MP Johnny 5 says my 18 Silverado interior is pretty basic, but it's functional. He likes the 22 miles per gallon average on a 1,000-mile trip to Maine loaded up, not towing, of course, though. Like I've always thought that the Silverados had nice interior. I mean, that was my experience. Is it had the nicest of the interiors of the 3 vehicles I drove. So, there's Jeremy. He corrected me. It's a 2.7 EcoBoost. It's a rocket, 0 to 60. So
I test drove both of them when I was getting my F-150. They're good motors.
Yeah. Six's Performance. Welcome to the show, guys. That's awesome. Big YouTubers.
Right on, boys.
Check out their channel for sure. His EcoBoost 150 rental did wicked burnouts. I think they videotaped. I think they had that on one of their shows, actually.
Those guys are awesome, man. They are. YouTube channel.
They got a great channel. Oh, you can binge watch that all night. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, Bobby Bell's giving a shout out, and they're shouting back. I love it. This is what it's all about. Hey, Sixes, we should get you on here one day.
Awesome.
We should.
Yeah. We should. Reach out. Send us a here. Shoot me an email to fanphoto@mudbrats.com, and we'll get you on the. Wait a minute, I gotta get that chat off.
I've seen other snowmobile channels like coming in, right? Like this is what this is about. I think this is why it's going to end up doing well, boys. Is like this stuff, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Sixes, send an email here, and away we go. So there we go. But that's awesome.
Well, they're right there. I want to see if the Gord's son has a Polaris dealer. I was saying that out in Pemberton, BC. So, there's Mark's got a Toyota Tundra 5.7. That's a nice truck.
Mark. Oh yeah, for sure. And he hauls it. He's had no complaints with that. It's got the long box on it too. So yeah, 5.7. That's a big engine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, that's like the same thing, man. It's their.
That's in a Tundra, that would do wicked burnouts. So, Richard, when we get Mark together, he's going to have to do a brake stand.
I'm not doing it with my tires. I got those BF bridges, man. Those things are too. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Did you swap out your tires there?
So I ended up going on my F-150, putting those Goodyear what are they? The Durtrack on them. The Ram came from the factory with them. Like they're nice. They're more for off-road, and I'll tell you something, they're amazing in the snow. Like really nice. Snow. So that was the only thing about the Ram too. Like those tires I put on aftermarket on my F-150, and they came from the factory from Ram. So
yeah, sweet.
They're good trucks.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I got to look at tires. I'm going to get through winter with I've got a set of rims that I use for the winter, aluminum wheels with snows on them, and then I'm going to have to go for I'm thinking the BFGs, but Dino got them, and they're like $500 a shoe. So that's a lot to bite off.
You'll get good use out of them, right? So, like those tires Ford, from the factory, and a lot of them are like that. A lot of them are they weren't good tires at all, and even in the rain they were terrible. They were like slicks. Yeah. So I went up I put the Durtrax on with some fuel. What did I get? 22-inch rim fuel rims on my F-150. They were good. So I was happy when I bought my Ram that the Durtrax came from the factory, and they're great in the snow.
Nice.
They're good in the snow. So
no, that's saying it. And Dean got those on his Laramie, and he's going to run them this winter because they are pretty aggressive. But I can't believe how well they ride on the highway. They're really nice. Mm-hmm. So Kennedy Scott's Ram has a 4-wheel drive auto. In that setting, it drives in 2-wheel drive till it senses the wheel slipping, and then engages 4-wheel drive on its own. So that's I think that would be handy because I think it would actually help your mileage a bit, right?
Yeah, you know what? It depends though. Like, so the off-road packages, I don't think actually your buddy who does the F-150, maybe he'll chime in there. But I had that on my F-150. But yeah, it's handy because you can just set it and forget it, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, if you start hitting bad weather and bad ice and that, but I think they all have them on. It's just an option, I would think. But
that's sometimes now he's in the US as well. That's a lot of loony and toonies for $500 a tire. Oh yeah, it is. Well worth it though. Yeah.
So hey, thinking about that with permits, Bobby, do you have a certain deadline? Like, do they sell your permits cheap at a certain thing? Gary and I were talking about this because up here the OFSC has a deadline where it's how much is it cheaper, Gary? $25 by the end of September if you buy now.
No. Is it a little bit? No, I thought it didn't change.
No, it's $25. It's $25 cheaper up until the end of September, I think. But you know what?
I should know this because I'm an OFSC ambassador, so I should really do my homework on it.
Steve's still in the room. He can chime in because he's the one that told me. He goes, "You better get your permit until I think it's the end of September. You get $25 off."
Oh, well, then I better order it then. Yeah,
because what happens is when you get a new when you don't know or you don't have your sled yet, they give you a gift card, and then you order it, and then you put your registration.
Yeah, you put it in as a gift card.
Certain deadlines, Bobby, or is your price down in New York State the same price no matter what?
So our New York State registration doesn't change, and you have to do that just to ride in the state. And then in Old Forge, there's a trail pass because it's the only area in New York that has 24-hour grooming. And that preseason used to be 60, and then after December 1st, it was 80 for a full season pass. But this last year it went up, so now it's going to be 80 preseason and then 100 if you do it in season.
Okay.
So after
do you guys usually buy yours early, or the $20? It doesn't really matter, I guess.
Most of the time, mostly because I was doing it for 2 sleds. I would really try because then it ends up being $40 difference. Somewhat worth it. But my buddy, he tends to forget. Usually first ride out, we're picking his pass up, and I'm with one sled. It's really I could see it doesn't make much of a difference.
Yeah. So Mark was saying 190 now, 220 after December 1st. So I end up sticking mine on the underneath the windshield there, Bobby, on the Assaults. It's that pebble texture, and that material is a tamper-proof Mylar. It leaves void, and it's pretty aggressive. So I put it on there. And it was about, I think, the last 2-3 weeks left of the season. And we got pulled over going on the railway line through Halliburton, Gary. And the OPP was stopped on the road. The guy comes up and he's like, "Where's your permit? Your trail permit?" I'm like, "It's right there." And I look over and it was gone. Thank God you could tell because it stayed on for 3/4 of the season that it was there. And I'm like, "Holy shit." So it literally blew off. So
do you carry the paperwork with it? I started doing that last.
Yeah, I had the paperwork, but I couldn't believe it literally wasn't flapping. It was gone. But thank God the OPP officer looked and he goes, "I could tell that you had it there." And I'm like, "Listen, I got the paperwork." He's like, "Nah, don't worry about it. It's the end of the season." So I was saying that to my buddy Steve. I'm going to slap it on the hood or the windshield this year. So, but
I put our pass on the windshield, and then I kind of wanted to swap it, and I kind of regretted putting it there. So I think I'll put it somewhere on the headlight housing, but not on the actual windshield.
Because I had 2 windshields, Bobby. I had the lower windshield on the Assault at the beginning of the year, and then when I went to Quebec, I bought the mid. So I left my Quebec. I put the permit on my mid windshield for the Quebec because I'm like, whenever I'm going back there, I'm putting this mid on. I'm not riding with that little. That's not even a windshield. That one. That
yeah. I call it the bikini.
Yeah. So this year, the Assault, the 21s, they don't even come with a windshield. So
yeah.
To buy. That's another thing I got to put on the list to get is a windshield. So
yeah, so you can put one on. It just doesn't come with it, right?
Yeah, you can on the Matrix.
Yeah. What's that same price last year, guys? You get $50 off if the trails are closed in February and September, and then $25 if the trails are closed in February, October. But it's the same price, $192.
Yeah, that's right. They give you that's the new agreement, like deal that they have for people. And I think it's good. There was a few people snarking about it, but you know what? I think they're doing something, right? It's not in their control if the government mandates all the services to close and so them offering $50 back if by whatever date if it closes, I think it's a good deal. I mean, you look at what we're talking about trucks and trailers and fuel here. What's $190?
See, that's when you start breaking down how much this sport costs, and that's when I hear some people complain about the price of a permit. I'm like, we have 30,000 kilometers of groomed trails. Like, come on,
yeah.
Like, and Gary, you see how hard they work, the grooming and that. Like, I don't know. To me, it's to enjoy the trails we have up here. I'd like to see them go to the system they have in Quebec where it's looked after by the government. And I think we may be going that way eventually, where you have a full-time guy that his job, so I know they pay the groomers up here now, but
some of them do. Some of them do get paid, but some of them don't.
I think even still do, Gary, but I'd like to see this system go that way. Like in Quebec, it's just the groomers are out all the time, Bobby. They're like it. But I really, even at the end of the day of a heavy traffic weekend, they're washed out. They're like that anywhere. But by Monday morning, they're smooth again, right? So
yeah, and Rec Stuff says hard to believe some people here in Michigan complain about a $48 trail permit for 6,000 miles of groomed trails. It's still though, like right now when you're thinking about it off season, you're at home in your warm house and whatever. And you don't think about it, but I think I always say this, if there was a snowmobile dealer right on the trail, in the bush and you're going along, you would be paying whatever you had in your pocket or in your bank account to get a brand new sled if you're talking that out on the trail because it's so good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like $190. If I get on the trails once, that's good. And going back to that hardworking thing you were saying, like Richard's more referring to the Northern Ontario that's pretty much guaranteed to open every year. We stake trails in my area that if we open once or for a weekend or a week, we're really lucky. That's a bonus. And we've got a crew of people out there and we have fun putting the stakes out. And if Moose is watching, he and I were out Christmas Eve day pounding in stakes. And then we went out after Christmas and stuff. And I don't even think I rode that section of trail that we did last year, and the year before we went out a couple of times on it. So, it's thankless work. And here we are down here slugging away for it. And it's all volunteer. We don't get anything, for doing the job, but we do it anyway. Cause it's fun. One, it's fun and it's somebody's got to do it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so MP Johnny 5 wants to know, Rev, if you're getting some main riding in this year or what.
All about the trailer. Once we get a trailer, they can actually cover some miles, without worrying about losing a wheel or anything like that. I definitely want to get it that way and explore some new areas.
You mentioned about your front tongue being replaced. My cousin's son races motocross, and they went down in the States. He went down to Loretta's last year, and it was so bumpy. And they warned people about make sure your trailers are in top shape. And Andy's like, it's not that bad. And he said the roads were the worst he's ever seen. And the actual tongue separated from the trailer. They had it fixed twice. Once just when they got there, on the way home, it actually broke again.
Nothing worse than your trailer. Do you ever remember watching Snow Tracks way back in the day with Sled Ed when John Massenberg was You ever remember seeing that one episode where the trailer's going by his car, his tow vehicle?
I had that happen to me, and you know what? It was a flow open trailer, so it was New Year's Eve day, and we were going to go for a local ride. So I was going over to Dino's house. I had both my Renegade and the other sled. This was the omen. My Renegade wouldn't start, so it was like, oh, I'm just going to take the 600, the 50th anniversary edition, and then in the last minute, I was farting around with it, and I pulled the fuse out and stuck it in the Renegade. It started. It had blown the starter relay fuse. So then I just said, screw it. I left them both in the trailer, and those guys were ready to go. So I said I'd meet out at Dino's house. So I'm hooked up, and I always check to make sure that locks down on the tongue, but it wasn't on the ball all the way, or something maybe was corroded, or it was really cold. So maybe that little claw that goes over the ball wasn't latched down. So I went, and it didn't have chains. It had the big thick aircraft cable on it. And I go up the street here, and there's a little bit of a bend, but it's like 50 kilometers an hour. So I was doing 60, 70 by the time, and I go around the bend, and all of a sudden I felt, this is with the Ridgeline tone. It was like, and then all of a sudden I look in my mirror, and the trailer's like, my truck's like this, the trailer's like, and it hit the curb, and the sleds both bounced, the super clamps ejected, and the sleds went right through the front nose of it. And it's like, if that had been on the highway, it would have, A, could have killed somebody, and B, it would have been rolled, like it would have went and rolled and ruined written off both machines.
Well, and you probably learned from that, Gary. You got to triple check stuff when you're towing. So
that was totally down. Like it was, it must have been the claw so I took that coupler off, and I pitched it in the garbage and put a brand new one on. And it was fairly new when I had it, but yeah, what a scary time.
Steve's got a question here for Bobby, Gary. Questions for Bobby. Have you started shopping for trailers? And I'm curious about price in the US as to Canadian.
Yeah. So, the first one I looked at were Tritons. You know, everybody's heard about Tritons. And 4-place, I want to say it was 28 foot, maybe. It might have been a 24 foot, but it was a 4-place, already had all the ski guides, had the track mats. It would have been 14,000 USD. And then actually I see somebody else sometime is talking about the brand that I'm looking at, that I'm probably going to end up getting, a Blizzard out of Boonville. They don't have track mats, but it has the front door, the rear door, a man door, a gas door.
Nice.
And that one's 9,100. We would obviously have to put the ski guides and the mats in, but the price
was that a couple $100, Bobby? Honestly, like that's
$300 Canada outfit a trailer like that. Yeah,
that's awesome, Bobby. Well, when you get your trailer, like I said, we'll make a video of it and go over it. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So that's a good question. How much would that be up here? Yeah, you know, because I remember I was looking, and I obviously only have myself, and you know, the odd time I'll be pulling a friend when we go to Quebec and that. But eventually down the road, you know, my son gets back into it with me, and that I may end up going to a 4-bed. But I mean, they're not cheap up here, man.
No, like a Neo 23 foot, I think, is around 14 grand, and a Neo isn't a Triton by any means. Those Triton trailers, I think, are 17, 18 grand with the single axle, but they're inline. I think they're a 2-place inline. Nunzio's got one of those. He really loves it.
Sorry, Gary. Finish. Sorry, buddy.
No, I think Dino paid that white one that I showed in that one picture. I think he paid around 10,000 for that. It's got aluminum wheels. That's a Neo, but they've gone up in price now. Like they've finished the insides and everything. So yeah.
My buddy Steve bought a trailer last year, and it's nice too. It's not as wide, but it's longer, like you were saying, Gary. Maybe Steve, you can chime in and tell me what kind of trailer you have and the specifics of what you paid and whatnot, maybe. But it's a nice trailer too. It's there's so many options out there. But when I shopped around, Gary, I'm not kidding you. The Triton, so the same model as what we have, Gary. The Triton was almost $2,700 more, and I literally did my homework going back and forth. And I couldn't justify paying the money for it. I'm not saying, I mean, Tritons are an amazing trailer, but
that's right.
For me, for the cost difference, I you know what, $2,700, that's quite a bit of gear and, you know, a couple of rides, stuff. So, but
absolutely.
I have a couple of pictures just come in. They're pretty cool from Greg Eastman. He sent us a few here. Just let me keep talking, guys. I'm going to actually just spool these up.
So Bobby, is there a dealer near you? Oh, obviously they're made in Boonville, New York. Is that where they're made? Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So Boonville, when I'm on the way up to Old Forge, there's kind of a fork in the road. I could go left and be in Boonville in probably 20 minutes. Go right, and it's probably 35, 40 minutes to Old Forge. And then right in Old Forge, there's a dealer that sells the Blizzard trailers. That's obviously affiliated with the factory that assembles them. So it's Blizzard is by far the most popular trailer in Old Forge because of that. Pretty much, I would say like 1 out of every like 3 trailers you see is a Blizzard. So.
How long have they been in business for, Bobby? You know, like quite
That's
a while.
actually a great question. I'm not sure. They've been there ever since I've been riding. So we first started going up there in 2007, I want to say, and they've been up there ever since that time. So
okay, yeah. Someone else was saying here. So Steve, he has a ProStar Bullet built in Michigan, 7 foot by 16 feet, and you think he paid 7,000 Canadian, and the Triton was about 3,000 more. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. That
guides and everything. Okay, Steve's trailer's nice. I wish I had a picture of it. It's nice. We were joking around because him and I are planning on going to Quebec this year, and it's like, I'll drive, but we're using your trailer.
Yeah. So I've just shared sometimes is now trailer. This is a Blizzard right here. So it's very similar with what you've got there, Richard.
Yeah,
sure.
Similar.
Yeah, and this is what he's riding. That's a 900 Ace Turbo. Love that. Love that. And then this was his first. This is him, 12 years old, on his first sled. He says it's a what's he got here? Sorry about this. A Yardman Snow Cub. Isn't that crazy? I love it.
Gee.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when there was 150 snowmobile manufacturers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everyone and their mother made a snowmobile back then.
Yeah. So for sure.
So there's a lot of options with trailers and whatnot, eh? But you literally, like I was going to wait and go buy my trailer at the snowmobile show, but again, I did my homework beforehand, and they're made out. Actually, mine's made down by Forest River, believe it or not, down in the U.S. That came up, and they're the same manufacturer that built my RV. So I was surprised.
Yeah.
They're made by the Mennonites. I guess a lot of them are down there. So well-built trailer. And like after a year, I took it back. The chains were too long, and I wore out one of them. They replaced that. A couple of the screws came loose, and they just went over and replaced a bunch of them, recocked after a year. And I took it back. It cost me an inch.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I've got a question for you guys, and maybe it'll help out in the chat. I have bearing buddies on mine, and my old trailers didn't. And I always used to redo the bearings, if not every season, every 2 seasons. I just repack them, pull them out, clean them, grease them, put them back in. How often do you do it when you have bearing buddies? Do you even worry about something like that?
I never did. I always had bearing buddies on mine. I just always repacked them at the beginning of the year, and then halfway through, you just double check on them. And mine came with some type of bearing. They're not bearing buddies, Gary, but I'm going to take a look at them. It did have some type of system in it that keeps.
Yeah, that you'd squirt it, fill it with grease. Yeah.
And on my door on the back, the guy said, "Listen," he goes, "You're not going to need to grease them at all this year and probably next year." And he said, "Do not try to use and grease those hinges on the door in the cold because you'll snap off the nipples." He said, "Do it." And that's so. I just to let people know, that maybe other guys know this, but they say it's the worst time to do adding grease on the, the hinges that have the nipple sticking out.
Yep.
They say it's the worst time to do them because you'll snap them off in the cold winter. So do them at the beginning of the year or when it gets milder, right? So, but I mean, how often do you need to do those, right? The door opens up, I don't know how many times. So how many times you're going to
exactly. Yeah. But it's like that's the thing. Now is the time to do any type of maintenance. I have a tire I have to address. Looks like it's got a little bit of a slice in. I must have rolled up on a curve or a hunk of ice or something and sliced it, but it's not all the way through, and they're brand new tires last year. So I think that's the key is we had a flat one year, and after that it's like I don't take any chance on tires. Tire pressure, grease the bearings or repack them if you don't have bearing buddies, and then away you go. So Mark Bowe's got a 2011 North Trail. It's a 120-inch long, and his Gen 4 120 won't fit with the medium windshield on. Have to remove it. Never experienced that. Yeah, it's
a little longer, right?
Your trailer actually, Richard, looks like it's a little bit higher. It's like flatter than mine on the front. Mine, and I had the same thing with my Renegade. I had to pop the windshield off, but with the Skidoo, it's just push pins, right? So they come off pretty quick. But yeah. And I know Mark's been shopping for the Grandpa windshield too, so I don't know what he's going to do when he gets that on it.
Apparently,
that adjustment now. It could be worth the work.
Say, Bobby, they were saying on that video.
We got I didn't hear you. I'm sorry, Rich.
No, they were saying on the place, Gary was mentioning windshields, and apparently the new Matrix, they're a quick, easy. You don't need any type of a tool to take them off. Apparently they'll be.
Yeah, that's kind of like how the Skidoos have been. You've just been able to kind of pop them off and swap it out pretty easily. But I think this year for Mark, they do make an adjustable windshield, so that could be something.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they don't. That's the low to medium though. It doesn't go. He wants to get it higher than that. But I don't even know if that would work because they don't move that much. I thought it was a neat idea because it had the little flip up and it was a neat concept. But really, for the speed it takes and swapping out a windshield, you might as well just have an extra one. I actually have 3 windshields. Actually, I've got the little bikini, and it came with a bikini and a medium X windshield, and then I've got the medium high windshield that the 50s editions have on them. So I cover all the gamuts.
Yeah, my trailer came with a full size spare too, Gary. That was the other nice thing. Like all the extras that came with it on that when I was doing my shopping, that was another nice thing that came with I didn't have to go and buy a full size spare, so that was a nice thing too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Saying you guys have already touched base on one of the best items to purchase of any trailer, super clamps. Yeah,
absolutely.
I was pulling my hair out, and I don't have any left. So last year.
Yeah. And if you have the rails down the center of the trailer already, the super clamp has one that you just twist lock in, the loop twist locks into the rail. Or in mine, I showed Richard mine this week. I just drilled through the floor and popped there's a nut on the back of it, and it's fine. What a great system. It's so easy.
I'm waiting for Royal to have their no tax, Gary, and then I'm going to buy 2. I'm holding on.
There you go. Yeah. So that's Raymond 007 has the same one Dino has. It's a 7.5 by 24. I was thinking it was 23, and it's 28 feet overall, but they don't count that little part in the nose. They have great customer service. Down in Strathroy is where you get them from, and the fit and finish is as good as a Triton, he claims. So yeah, it's true. It's really nice. I wouldn't say the interiors is as finished as nice when you get the unfinished one. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but I don't think if you finish the walls are gorgeous. If you have an open cavity, I don't know whether the finish inside is as good, but Dino loves it. He'd buy another one, I'm sure, in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Bobby, when do you think you're getting yours? Like November, December?
So we're going to order it, I think, in 2 weeks, and then it should be done in December. So
nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. So a lot of people be getting things in November, December. We're going to be having a lot of videos here, Gary, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'll live vicariously through you guys. So I did a video of putting in when I got my trailer, it had nothing in it. So I went down to the snowmobile show 2 years ago. I think it was. Maybe it was just last year. I can't remember. No, it must have been 2 years ago. And I bought all the super clamp, or not the super clamps, all the tracks and the things. I got rid of the door. My door flipped down, and then there was another piece that flipped to make the transition. So I took that off, and so I've got a video I have to put up yet of that. I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
So no, but it definitely makes things a lot easier in this area because this winter's so hit and miss. You have to have a trailer to travel.
For sure.
You can't, if you buy a permit in this area and you don't have a trailer, you can't count on riding at all. Oh yeah, there's Mike. This is a good guy. He's actually tipped the groomer operators just for the countless hours they put in, not getting paid. Not a ton, but if they can buy a beer after a long day or night, why not? And that's a good idea. Everyone I see, the groomer operators are so friendly, but I always make sure I stop and knock on the door or give them a big wave or make the heart symbol, kind of thing. So
I'm pretty sure all the people in the MSR, Gary, that they're all paid, those groomer operators in the MSR.
Are they? Yeah, they could be.
I think from Muskoka North, they're all paid.
Yeah. Okay.
Like where I live in the Ganaraska Forest and all that in that region, the southern regions, I don't think they get paid. I think it's still on volunteerism. But I think from the MSR up, those guys are all paid.
Oh, it could be. Yeah. Well, they're 24-hour too, eh? They're 24-hour groomer operations up in that area. So, yeah. But,
that's good. Really
no,
good
it's nice to see people showing their love there, because a lot of times, more than not, it's kind of a thankless job too. You're laying down a nice, perfect carpet, and then someone comes along and goes,
You know what?
You
I
know.
wouldn't be a good groomer because I'd be OCD like that. I'd be like, nope, get off, man. I just laid down this next
Yeah, you'd be shooting at the guy, right?
better than when you come across the groomer coming towards you. And it's like, oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah. I usually don't get on it until after a while, though, because it's got to set up, right? The perfect trail is not the one right behind the groomer. It's after it sits for a few hours, and then once it hardens up, it's just mint, So Snow Track said it best. The one guy said it's like opening up a jar of peanut butter and there hasn't been a knife through it yet, or something like that. And I always remember that. It's like you get the first knife drag through that jar of peanut butter.
That's funny, man. That's good. That's good. All right.
Yeah. So
some other.
No, that's cool. So yeah, like I bought my super clamps used. I was telling Rich, I found them. I just put a thing out on one of the Facebook groups. Anybody got super clamps? I ended up buying 3 of them. So one I sold to a buddy, and I kept the other 2 myself. And the one girl I bought them off, I had the rear clamps too, but she just couldn't find them. But that would be something I'd want to invest in next, is instead of strapping down, because legally you still have to strap the rears down, and the super clamp for the rear, it clamps onto the rails. That would be so convenient. It'd be just like click, click, and you're gone.
I wonder if there's a law in the U.S. for clamping down the rears. I actually don't know.
Yeah, it'd be worth looking up. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. So the one I have on mine, Bobby, is it's just a bar with a long, basically, the screw bolt, right, with the round black thing on it. But you're there. I'm not kidding you. 10 minutes spinning around. I'm like, this is like. That's why I wish kind of like, the trailer was amazing, like I said, but that would be my only complaint. It's like, charge me the extra couple $100, man, and put the super clamps on.
Yeah.
To me, it's one of those things, but I don't know. I guess, trying to keep costs down, right? That's an extra $500 on a trailer, right? $200 a piece. So, but
that first trailer, Richard, that I have a picture behind the ridgeline on, we drove up to Kearney, Drew and I, for March break. We just went straight there. And we get up there, and I couldn't get the freaking thing to spin off. It was the spin ones, and like the top, I forced it so hard it broke off the nut, like it's a welded nut onto that shaft, onto the threaded rod part. Yeah. So we ended up going to a garage, and it was closed. But the lady that was running the sandwich shop or whatever at this gas station, she went back and got me a torch and WD-40, and I was underneath the trailer heating, and he's in the top banging on it and trying to spin it out. We finally got them out. It's like we didn't want to put them back in. That was it. I was like, no more.
First thing I did is I put anti-seize on them. Like I coated the rods and the thread into the ground, because that's exactly what I was saying. I'm looking at going, this is a piss poor design. Like exactly what you're saying happened, Gary. I'm like, this is what's going to happen. So I got went and bought a jar of that anti-seize, the silver paste, and I coated the rods and the nut that's in the ground there. But yeah, that's exactly it. It's a silly system, right? So,
for sure. Got another picture just come in here. Here, let me just share this with you guys. I'm going to post the text from the email up on the screen here. Hopefully this works. Yeah, this is it here.
This is my F-150, my Stealth 23 in Michigan. Great podcast. Love the fan.
Oh, this is a beautiful trailer. I just took a sneak peek of this. Wait till you see this bad boy. Let me just see here.
Steve's got a good point here too, eh? We'll have to pull that up when you're done there, Gary.
There we go. Yeah, look at that, eh? Isn't that nice?
That's sweet, eh?
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, nice aluminum wheels. That's long, eh? That's 20. He said 23 foot. Yeah, so that's like Dino's. It looks longer than his though. Yeah, a good package there.
Who's get up is this, Gary?
This is Rex stuff. He's down in Michigan. He's in the chats. He's in the chats, and then he just emailed it to me right there. So, nice. Yeah, we try and respond right away when we can. Here's Steve's comment here.
Yeah, I've had some lug nuts that are pretty stuck on, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's a really good tip. Right now, go out and take all your nuts off, anti-seize them, torque them back on. Yeah,
no,
torque them.
There's nothing. Can you imagine blowing a tire on the side of the highway? It's minus 25 out, and you're like, you can't get the nuts off. Like, that's just a nightmare. That was a beautiful trailer. That one. What trailer? What manufacturer was that? Sorry, I was.
So you said it was
a Stealth. It's a Stealth. Yeah, okay. It looks just like a Neo. Same wheels and everything. That's a real nice trailer. Yeah. The some areas, I don't know what it's like in the States, but some areas up north in if you have a flat, you want to make sure you have a gun under your seat, because you might not be coming home with all your stuff that's in your trailer, if you know what I mean.
Not too much in my area, but there are obviously areas that, like windshields, we're talking about how easy they pop off. You'll go inside and you'll come out, your windshield's gone. Somebody liked it more than you.
I guess I don't go without a windshield, But yeah, so
imagine if your permit was on it.
Say that, as simple as that. But I was sitting there thinking, that's amazing that Polaris is making these things come off quick. But that was the first thing I was thinking. I was like, what happens when I go into Tom's Burgers and I come out and my windshield's gone, right?
Yeah.
That's why
what's that?
The link system, Steve. Like, you got to pull your bag off and go in, because like you come out
for sure
cheap. I know they have that locking screw you can put in there, but
that's the one behind the seat has a locking screw. The other ones don't. The Link gas can. What's that place up north that you actually store your sled indoors in Cochrane? Is it the Westway?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So the boys were there for the night, and they left their jerry cans on the back, and they were empty in the morning. They go out to do this big ride, and they go, oh, we got 22 liters, and they go to fill up a buddy's sled, and both jerry cans are drained. Yeah. It's, I mean, I don't like that. I think there's a brotherhood here of snowmobilers, and we got to help each other out, right?
Yeah, but you know what? You're always going to have one bad apple, man. And that's the thing. You know what? You hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Like that's like Quebec. Like when we were up in Amos last year, that's way the heck up in northern Quebec. And everyone's telling me, like, you know what? Enjoy your ride. You may come back. Your truck and trailer will be gone.
Like, what? It's like my buddy Hanley got a brand new 850 Polaris last year. I think it was an Assault. I'm not sure. If he's watching, he can chime in. But he went to Quebec, I think, on his second trip, and it got stolen.
Yeah, like we lock our stuff up. Like we had a bunch of those good kryptonite locks that we wrapped through the A-arms and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? If after doing that, when I go to bed, I get up in the morning, if it's gone, then you obviously needed it more than me. I mean, you can only,
You know, they're looking for a quick. They're looking for a quick grab, and they're watching too. You see some of the cameras, and they know exactly which sled to go to, and they're quick and they're in and out and gone. It's almost like it's an inside job. Not saying it is, but it almost is,
And a lot of those professionals, like I said, it doesn't matter what you have on there. The locks and all that are for honest people. If someone wants your stuff bad enough, my cop buddies say that. You know what? The locks not are for the honest people. That'll wander by. Sure. The punk that'll maybe thinking of that, but the professionals, if they want your stuff, you don't have a hope, right? So.
On a scary thing with the Polaris is if you unplug your gauge, your sled will start without a key.
That must be what they're doing, is unplugging the gauges and going.
Gee, I didn't know that.
So it makes it easy for the people that know that. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, now everybody knows it. Now you've let the cat out of the bag.
Now, is that on the new Matrix, or did they fix that? I hope.
I hope not the new Matrix, but it was all the Axis sleds. So
wow.
I learned it by accident. I forgot to plug it in, and I go to move my sled. I'm like, why isn't my headlight on? And then I look, and key's not in it. Gauge isn't plugged in. The sled still runs.
Wow. I'm going to be following Rich all winter.
Bring up the cat or Yamaha. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That's right. See the price of that Stealth?
Amazing.
2019 Stealth, $6,900 US. That's awesome.
Yeah. See, we get hosed, Bobby. I don't know if you understand. A great country. Don't get me wrong. I love Canada. Like, it's good healthcare and all that. But man, we are taxed to death.
That's it. Canadian dollars right there. That's it. That's the conversion to Canadian. $9 grand. I'd take it all day long.
Wow.
You know, so you can't buy it.
Manufactured. I know they're down in the US, but you know what, Gary? That would be even worthwhile driving down to the US and paying the conversion and bringing it back than buying it from a dealer up here. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Well, it's hard to say. Would it be worth it? You know what I mean? By the time you pay gas and everything.
And just hope. Well, I'm not going to sit here and talk about. You know?
Bristol, Indiana, is where it says it's
okay.
The head office is from. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah,
that is a trailer.
No, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
No, it's good.
But, yeah, so we've been going an hour and 21 minutes already, boys. Isn't that great? Just shooting the crap. So I got some news. Did I tell you who I might be getting on this show, Bobby?
I may have heard, yeah.
Yeah?
We should
I don't know
everybody else know.
Say it.
Dave Nerona.
I think we got Dave Nerona coming on, and I think he's coming on next week.
Nice.
So
amazing.
It's going to be an amazing show. He is funny as hell. I did a little spoof video. It's called How to Install Shot on any E-Tech or on my 800 E-Tech, and how to install Shot. So if you Google that, and I actually roast him on that video. So I'm at the Toronto Sled Show, and he's there, and we get shooting the shit, and I tell him about this, and he says, I seen that video. And then he starts commenting about things in that video, and it's totally, you would not know it unless you watched it. So he's watched it a few times to memorize it. So, and then that's the thing, he commented
I'm not sure if
else.
Or someone else's, but just a heads up, my screen's freezing pretty bad.
Yeah, and it looks like Richard's gone, but he might come back. But yeah, so we're hopefully getting him on next week or the week after, and that'll be a fun show. He's got a lot of knowledge of mountain riding and Skidoo product knowledge, and we'll bring that back, you know. So I can't wait. But I got a video just sent to me too. I can play it. So here, I just got to figure out how to do this here.
Did we lose Rich?
And we lost Rich, unfortunately. Hopefully he'll come back.
Pretty bad there too for a minute, but it looks like.
Oh man, hopefully I can share this video here. Got a really good video from a fan here. Just bear with me here. Tell us a joke if you there he is. He's back.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Got to give a shout out to what's up?
Oh, sorry, Bobby. Go ahead, bud.
I just want to give a shout out to Mike. Him and I actually rode together back in the day. He had a Indy XC 600 2019. It was a beautiful sled. It was lime and blue, and that thing ripped. I actually have a video of it running against our 600 RR Articat, and it smoked it.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah. So this is from Sometime Is Now. Watch this. This is he's coming back from a snowmobile ride. Look at that snow.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome. That's where you just pull your sled out and go back out again.
Yeah, right.
Buddy, I'm home. See you later.
Why do you even need a trailer anywhere? That's awesome. Thanks for sending those in, guys. Like, that's great. I mean, again, let me reiterate, if you want to share anything, there's the email right there, fanphoto@mudbrats.com. If we're live, we'll put it on. But even better, if you're watching this on the replay or you're listening to it in the podcast format, then make sure you send it to fanphoto@mudbrats.com. And we'll include it in the next episode. I always like to do a little recap at the start of the show of what we talked about the week before, the episode prior, and away we go. But yeah, so another comment just popped up here. Are you kidding? The 2019 player smoked our Arctic 2019.
It did.
That's funny.
Yeah. There's Mike.
Comments over on my other computer here, guys. Not seeing them show.
Is that what? There's actually a way of you know how you've got two things open, Rich? You can actually on YouTube, when you see the chat stream, you can click at the top right and it says detach chat, or it says pop out chat. And when you pop that out, you can close then YouTube and you can put it right over the StreamYard.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, okay. That's cool too. Yeah. Okay. So I went to live chat. That's what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
The Polaris jumped the numbers to the 900, but our gear hasn't. Why go with an intermediate number like that?
What was that? What was that one about?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Maybe because Polaris is actually an 840, not an 850.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. That's too funny.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be good.
That's for something else going on in the chat there that we missed. But
that's what I was trying to say. I was missing something there going on there, but that's good. Oh, there we are. Our Cat's 800 against a Polaris 900.
Oh, that's why he said the 900. Yeah. I get it.
Oh, they were actually both 600s. Mike's is a 600, and it was my 6000 RR back in the day.
Okay, yeah, it was the one before your riot, Bobby, right? That one, your dad, yeah. How was that, Bob? That looked like a nice sled too.
It was pretty good. The only downfall was the top end. Just at least on the Speedo, it only read like 87, 88. It was about the fastest I ever got out of it. But corner to corner, it felt really strong. The clutching was really good. Like on my Polaris 800, I had trouble catching it. If it got the jump on me, it would take me a bit to actually catch up to it. Being an RR, it actually was pretty good on trail. Like it wasn't too stiff, and definitely can't complain.
Yeah,
it would be geared more. That's why I didn't have it.
Right, like Gary was mentioning last week, that Polaris 650, man, that's going to take a long time. It's going to take a big lake to reel in. I mean, out of the whole shot mid range, those 650s are. I don't think anything's going to keep up to them. That's why I think they're going to be an amazing trail sled.
Yeah.
Well, if it has the unbridled power that the 850 has, and it's kind of the same, but it's smaller. It should be wicked. I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah.
I love it.
Do you see that comment there, Bobby? That's right where you ride.
Yeah, that's awesome. We had a couple big storms last year. I only was lucky enough to ride after one of them. Another one, I just barely missed it, didn't get out in the powder, but we get some pretty good lake effect every now and then, and you'd think we were like out west or something.
I was looking at where you guys get. That old Forge gets nailed by Lake Ontario. All the snow coming off Lake Ontario, that northwest wind coming out of. Oh man, you guys get. So I look down there. I'm like, holy crow!
It's crazy to drive a couple hours and go from green grass to a foot, 2 feet of snow.
Yeah.
How many miles do you get a year riding usually, Rev? Like how many miles do you
typically get? Like a little above or a little below 1,000. We've had really great years where we're like 1,500-ish, but a lot of times in the beginning of the season, it's kind of just going for the sake of going. Usually the trails don't allow you to like take long trips. There's kind of this area between this place called Branningham and Old Forge in our area that is a lot of roads. So if the trails are bad, it can really kind of get you stuck on Old Forge or stuck towards Tug Hill. So you can't go in between.
Yeah. Have you ever ridden the up?
I have not. No. The problem is the way to get there kind of either way. I either have to go up through Canada and I would probably just stay in Canada or, it's kind of just a long drive for us from where we'd be coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I'll get you up, Rev. Hopefully we can get you up here because I never love the trails.
For sure.
Yeah.
As long as they
I want your dad to come up too. Get him up riding here too.
He's already talking about it. He watched the podcast where you guys kind of introduced me coming on, and he was like, "Oh, we got to go ride with those guys. It'll be great."
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and my son would be stoked too. I think that would be a good father-son day, that kind of thing. So, Yeah,
and you know what we could do is meet in Quebec, Rev. You could go up and we could meet there. Like Ontario trails are amazing, but Quebec is just that much better.
Yeah,
it's a culture there. It's a snowmobile lifestyle. It's a real culture.
I'll trust you guys to be the guides, and I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Yeah, good. You get some good time. No,
yeah, Scotty's Recreation for trailers. You just picked up a 4-place inline for $8,200. You can basically customize a trailer for no extra charge. So I wonder if Scotty's Recreation is Canada or US. Do you want to chime in on that, Scott?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard of it personally, but
yeah,
good price.
It's mid-rang on his 600 Indy is incredible. It just lacks a top end, like Bobby said with the RR. Yeah. That's the thing with any 600. My 600 gets up and goes like crazy, but it doesn't have the legs. Like I missed it last winter, out on the lake. It's like, yeah, I think I'd like the 800 right now, but in the trails, we'll take the 600. Yeah, me too. Let's go ride. Mark Boat was in.
I don't know, man. I may consider a 650 my next sled on that Polaris motor. I know that sounds. I don't know, because we got a lot of lakes, Bobby, up here. So I love when we hit Lake of Bays. You can hold it open until the cows come home. But for the majority of it, the trail riding, I'm sitting there thinking maybe a 650 trail sled next. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to try it. You know what I mean? We would appreciate hearing about it. So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
See what happens.
I want to ride one this winter for sure. I'd like to see. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have them at the demo rides in Old Forge. So as long as there's snow, I should definitely be able to get to try one out at least.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing they don't do up here, Bobby. They used to. Yamaha was good for it. And I sit and I look, I'm thinking, why aren't you guys giving us demo rides up here? Like when I see what you guys do down there, it might even be worth going and doing a road trip when obviously this stuff's over. Just to go. I'm serious. You know what I mean, Gary?
Yeah. For sure.
You're doing that
absolutely,
man.
Yep. Noble Shot says. He says they won't let us Americans into Canada. No, we'll get Dougie Ford there, our provincial leader. We'll get him to teach you the secret handshake.
There we go.
Send you home with some back bacon, and some Canadian maple syrup,
Bobby, Steve was asking, do you know if the old Ford shootout is still a go this year? Do you know?
I haven't heard anything about it. I didn't even think about it. In my head, I was figuring it would be, but yeah, I guess with crowds and everything, it could be restricted. I'll have to look into it, and maybe for the next live stream, I'll try to have that information.
Yeah, that would be good, man. That'd be nice.
Yeah. When do they usually run that? That's a grass drag, right?
They'll do it in the grass if there's no snow, but they'll do it in the snow if there is, because it's right at the beginning of our season. So opening weekend, they typically do it on Friday or Saturday.
Right on.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do that. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else in regard to that. Yeah, come up north to Sudbury Trails. Yeah, Sudbury's nice too. Actually, I got a new.
It's beautiful.
Sudbury there. I'll be making a trip up there this year.
Yeah, Sudbury's nice. Yeah,
business trip, Gary, and then pull in there. So.
Oh, you're working around your business, eh? That's nice.
When I landed this guy, so I landed this customer last year right up in Sudbury, and I was actually going to go on up and do my last ride up there and do a business trip, right?
Nice.
Trailer. Oh, what the heck? Why as well? Right.
Yeah, for sure. Take them with you. They probably have a machine themselves, so
yeah,
that's cool.
Looking good. So, but that's indeed. What is that, Bob? Usually the shootout is it the end of November or December?
It's usually the very early part of December. Just depends on the weekend, but anywhere from like the 8th until like the 12th, kind of in that range.
Yeah, I remember used to wait for the American Snowmobile Shootout magazine to come out. You're looking at the numbers, compared to see who.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting to be like whoever is faster on the thumb is going to win nowadays.
That's a big thing. Like, especially last year, the launch, there was one of the runs, the Arctic, the guy really picked a good spot on the track. And I think it dropped by almost half a second. And, it does very much come down to the rider and the type of launch they get on the sled.
Yeah.
Richard, do you know the answer to this one? This Ethan just got a 2020 Indy XC600. He's wondering what to expect coming from an Indy 121 600.
I couldn't comment on that, to be honest with you. Maybe my buddy Steve could chime in. He had an XC before his XCR, I believe. Steve, if you're still in the room there, my buddy Steve had an XC. So
yeah. So Jeremy's going to let us know when the place in Kearney has the new model ride every year. I'd love to do that, and that's right on the trail. That'd be awesome. So, Jeremy, are you upgrading this year, or are you going to keep the that little rocket you're on last year going for another year? Your son's probably got dibs on that one, though, right? So, Jeremy, what a hoot we had with that guy. He had a rough day that day with the breakdowns and the cop stops and everything, but he ended up surviving.
He's a great dealer. That's where my buddy Steve buys all his players records.
Yeah, they're supportive of everything I see online too. So it seems like a good.
You ride by that dealer all the time. The trail goes right through his property, right? So.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we rode through, and I was talking to Drew on the comms because we're 4 skidoos, and I wanted to get a picture of all the skidoos lined up along the front of Rick Ward's like they were for sale, and I wanted to send it to Nunzio last winter, but those guys are already ahead of us, so Drew and I couldn't arrange it. And then when we caught up to them, they were at the cop stop. So yeah, 9,000 turbo.
It's actually a sled I haven't ridden yet. Every year at the demos, Articat doesn't bring one, and Yamaha does, but their lines, they don't bring a ton of sleds, so their line's usually pretty long, and I haven't gotten on one yet.
What's that, Bobby?
Like Sidewinder / 9,000 turbo. I haven't got to ride one.
Yeah, I was wanting to get a ride on that SRX. I actually was contemplating an SRX, man, because I had them before, and I'm like, maybe I'll go to a 4-stroke, but I'm like, I don't know.
I think, to be honest, I could see my dad getting one. He always wants that top speed on the lake, so I wouldn't be surprised if down the road that's something he ends up doing.
Well, and they ride so good for an old guy too, right?
I don't know. Sometimes it's saying you want to try an epic ride, do the snow train. I don't know if you know this sometimes now, but they gassed it. They don't do that anymore. But it was supposed to be a good trip, man. So basically, you get on the train. They load your sleds onto a train, and they take you up and they drop you off, and you snowmobile back. And
it's polar bear country too.
Yeah,
I think I read about that in a magazine once. Actually, my dad always talked about doing it, but we never did it.
Yeah, and you can't do it anymore. It's too bad. So, here, Bobby, Dominic just got a 2021 Riot. Any suggestions for it?
Yeah,
Andrew said C&As.
Yeah, either skis or a 6-inch carbide. Definitely takes it to a new level. I thought maybe it was the skis that were the problem, and then I upgraded to just a 6-inch round bar Woody's carbide, and it made the sled handle great.
Yeah. Rex stuff says, hey, Bobby, you need a better background. Throw a helmet or two back there. What, you don't like the seaweed?
That's good, man.
When we first chimed in on Sunday, Bobby, I thought you were trying to be like a Rasta man or something with the dreadlocks with the hair on each side.
Bobby, did you change the limiter straps on the ride? I know you were saying when you test rode the ride before you bought it, they had that really tightened down.
Yeah, I left them where they were. I like a little bit more weight transfer. I would say the Riot as a whole doesn't have a ton of weight transfer, but stock, it's actually, like, I would say, very pleasing for everybody. It has just enough. If you're about to hit some moguls, you can get the front end up, but it's not like the Assault where it's ripping wheelies if you hit the throttle too much. You know what I mean? So it's a good mix.
Yeah, that's what I used to love when you were watching your videos and you just like
yeah.
You love that. It's a good thing about the Assault. That's what I loved about it. I know it sounds crazy. Like a lot of people that would drive you nuts coming out of a corner. It's just so predictable, and you know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It makes it fun. Sometimes I actually saw a guy that was like, sleds are getting so fast. Do we need something that's so precise and so perfect? Like, if it's a little bit harder to ride, it'll slow me down a little bit more. Maybe I'll have a little bit more fun, but I don't necessarily need to be going, 80 miles an hour down the trail. So,
no,
interesting perspective.
Yeah, no, for sure. And off trail, you loved it too, right? Like, I mean, that thing is great. Like, that's the nice thing about it. When it pops up, it gets you up off the, in the deep snow. It gets up on it.
And it just, the flotation's so good on it. I mean, in our really light lake effect, it goes across the top of it like it's nothing. It blew my mind.
Yeah. Now the Riot wasn't so much easy getting it up, but it was way better on the trail, right? So there's the trade off. We were talking about that last week, but
yeah. And I mean, to give the Arctic Cat community the benefit of the doubt, I do have the 1.3 on it because the Riot doesn't have the tipped up rail. So I wanted to try to, because I'm like a 75-25 kind of guy. So I wanted to make it as trail capable as possible. I imagine with the 1.6, it probably would do better in like the really light, fluffy lake effect. But yeah, the way my Riot is set up, it does kind of trench a little bit, but it still goes through it no problem.
Yeah, that's good. And plus, you're saying, your dad, like, it's an awesome sled on the trail too, right? So
absolutely, yeah. Like if it was more like the Assault, he probably would hate it and want me to get rid of it. But because of the way it handles, he loves it.
Yeah. No, that's good. Oh, look at that.
It says, I swear to the snow gods, I'm not a tree hugger. Here, we got to get that off
sure
the bottom.
Tech vest. Holy smokers, eh?
Isn't that crazy? That's folding it right up.
What was that? Is that a cat? It's orange.
That's a cat.
Yeah, it looks like it was.
Yeah.
Oh, well, man. You see those every now and then too on the lake. I don't know if you guys come across. Well, Bobby, I remember you on one of your videos. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, where someone was having a pig roast out on the lake, the sled on fire, right?
Oh yeah, it was a skidoo. Actually, it was burning up, and they seem to kind of have it. I know. I was very big about that.
You have a arena roast on your sled this year, pal, hey?
Yeah. No kidding, right?
Yeah. So you got a 2019 Richard Carter. I have a 2019 Assault and love it. The best sled I've ever owned. Yeah. No, I love mine. It was good.
Yeah.
They're good. I'm actually looking forward to too. Hopefully, maybe Steve will let me drive his VR1. I don't know. We didn't even actually trade off last year. He had his XCR. That was a nice sled too. That XCR.
Does his VR1 have a 137 under it, or what length of track?
I believe it's the 137 on him. It's a good question, Gary. Maybe you can chime in. I don't know if he's still in the room now. He hasn't talked in a while. I think they're 137s, aren't they, Bobby? I'm pretty sure they are.
We have both. We have a 129 and a 137.
Yeah, so I think the 137. Yeah.
Depends on what you
want. That'd be a good sled. Yeah.
It's VR1. Oh, yeah, you've seen, like, I was reading my Snow Tech magazine there, and they're going over, they go back in time talking about the different sleds, and they were saying how the average trail sled now, back 15 years ago, was the mountain sled, right? So, I mean, you look at the mountain sleds now. I mean, I'm not a mountain guy, but like, that's crazy, the lengths on these things. I mean, they're going to 3-inch paddles now, boys. 3-inch paddles.
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
Well, that's like the Riot X comes with a 2.6-inch track, and that's considered a crossover. Like that's crazy.
See, that would be a rough awesome trail, though, Bobby. That you'd need to be somewhere where there's more powder.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So here we go. We didn't trade off last year because I was always waiting for him to catch up. It's a 137. Whatever. The trash talk now, right?
I love it.
But they were saying that, and the new Do, I was reading the article in the new Do with the turbo and that, it's got an actual sensor now, Gary. Did you notice that for belt detonation?
Is that right? No, I didn't know that. I haven't done any reading lately.
It measures the temperature of the belt, and it sounds an alarm. I can't remember the temperature. I think it's over 170 or something like that. Then you can ignore it. Like it doesn't put the sled into like a limp mode or anything. It's just
But I mean, you see the technology changing already there. They're already starting to come up with things to warn you that possibly your belt's going to malfunction, right, due to heat or whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They've got power steering now on some sleds, the heated seats and heated bars, and it's such a different world right now for machines, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I know I keep going on, but that's the one thing I'm looking forward to is that thermostat. That is so smart. No one has come out with that yet, right? Yeah. I don't know. And it's like apparently it's going to be a patent system from what I was reading in one of the magazines.
Well, it should be left and right. You can have different temps and you set it and forget it. Yeah.
But you think about it, Gary, and the way I understood is the wind could be coming from a different direction, and it senses that, and it cranks up the bar so it keeps it consistently like that. That's awesome.
It's very, very, and it seems like it'd be a simple thing. It's climate control, right? It just adds heat when it needs it and takes away when it doesn't. It's pretty neat. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
so Mark always thinks it. Yeah, the 850s have that temp sensor too. That's cool. Yeah. They've gotten quite a bit of bad rap over the belts in 2017. 2018 wasn't that bad, but I think they've dialed it in on the 19s and 20s and 21s. I don't think you're going to have any issues with belts here on out. Adam Furlong had a 2017, still has it, a 165 Summit. He all he does is off-trail mountain riding, and he went through belts like crazy. I think he went through 6 belts in one trip, and they're $300 a belt kind of thing. And he put in new motor mounts and the 2019 vent cover and the finned secondary, I think, is part of that kit. And last year he had no issues at all with it. So I think they fixed it. Yeah, I think they fixed that. Yeah.
That is crazy though, man.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like you see the technology that keeps coming out. It's crazy.
Yeah, that feature was developed in the racing segment and the side-by-sides. That's probably right too, because those turbo side-by-sides had some belt problems too, especially if you put anything to boost that. What were they, 240 horsepower or something stock? And if you put anything to bump that up, you're chewing through belts. Yeah,
crazy, man.
Definitely.
So what do you guys think about how long do you want to run this for? You want to shut her down in a bit or now, or what are you thinking?
I'm good to wrap it up if you guys want to. I mean, I think we've had a good run.
Yeah. That was a good show, boys. And we got
let me talk to Nerona and see what works best for him. But I could do Monday or Tuesday next week, and then we're gonna try and make it so that we have a set date and time for these fans, so that you're not waiting like today. Today was just kind of we were expecting to go on at 5, and then all hell broke loose at 4:59. So and then it went to 5:30, and the hell was still loose.
My apologies, there, boys.
But thank you everybody that's watching and still watching. And if you aren't subscribed to Revrider550, go over there on his channel and click the subscribe button and click the little bell notification. And any Revrider550 fans, I'd really appreciate the same. If you want to go over to Mudbrats ADV and click the little subscribe button and the bell notification, and then you'll know when we're going to do this every week. And we'll also put the links to both of our channels are in the description below. So thank you everybody for your time this week. And if you have any suggestions, by all means, shoot them to me by email. And again, you can email me any suggestions you have for topics on the show, products you would like to see, or even people you want to have come on. And we'll go from there. And I'll reach out to Six's Performance and shoot them an email, and we'll line them up as well, because that would be a real hoot.
Sure.
Yeah. So thanks again, Richard. Thanks again, Bobby. And
you too, Gary.
And we'll check you guys out next time.
Cancel your mail for a while. It's a job.